Hello and welcome to Luxx Events by Krissy. Before we get into today's video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the ring notification bell. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you find it helpful. Now let's get into it. Hey lovelies, today we are at the second floor in the downtown core of Toronto. What a lovely, beautiful city it is. This is a January wedding. This happened January 21st of last year, 2024. We are setting up ceremony decor today. After ceremony decor, we will be hanging around and transforming the space into the reception. Unfortunately, I was not able to record that as there was just a lot going on. Guests were in the space and it just wouldn't be appropriate to have a camera set up. So I only have pictures of the reception. I do not have any video footage for you guys, unfortunately. Maybe one day we can be able to do it, but at this time we're not able to. You also may have been wondering where I've been this last few times, why I haven't been posting. I was very pregnant here, so we had a baby and we are now back and operating business. Now that we are back in business, let's get into setting up this ceremony space. We are using chicken wire. We're just unraveling it here, and we are using that to create a very strong and sturdy base for our ceremony backdrop. Our client submitted a picture to us of what she would like to see, and so we did our best to recreate that image for her. We're just taking the chicken wire and we are wrapping it loosely around the pole. I'll get a close-up for you because from this angle it's very difficult to see, which is perfect because we know once the floral arrangements are in there, the guest will not be able to see that chicken wire at all. It is much better than using floral foam in the sense that it is not as heavy, especially when you have a light base like this. You do not want it to be too heavy where it is bending metal or ruining the integrity of the frame. We've done a bit of a guesstimate as to how far up we want our florals to go, keeping in mind that the florals will extend a bit higher, so we need to be cognizant of that. And our chicken wire is just tied in place with zip ties. We put the zip ties in a few different locations to prevent the chicken wire from sliding down and having all the florals accumulate at the bottom. How do we know what type of greenery we should use? There are a few different options depending on the type of look that you're going for. For this look and theme, we were trying to create a very lush and romantic trailing look. So we wanted long, full vines that draped naturally. And so a very popular choice would be Italian Ruscus, Smilax vine, and ivy. So for this look, we used Italian Ruscus, Smilax vine, ivy, and then for the white, we used baby's breath, large white roses, and a very small cluster of smaller white roses. If, let's say, our client wanted a more boho or airy look, we would have gone with silver dollar eucalyptus, seeded eucalyptus, and willow eucalyptus. It would give a more delicate, wispy look. Now, if our client wanted something more classic and structured, we would use some broader leaves like lemon leaf, leather leaf fern, or magnolia leaves. If they wanted something rustic or wooden for a more of a barnyard look, a popular choice would have been Huck Ferns or Huckleberry or leather leaf. And if you wanted that to be a bit more wintry, we would add pine, which also gives a very lovely smell. If we want to create the same look but have it be more tropical, we would add Monstera leaves, palm leaves, much broader leaf plants. Unfortunately, my mussel just came and stood right in front of me and blocked me for a bit, but now you can see we're just continuing to set up here. Something also to consider while choosing your greenery is the texture, the color, and the volume. So for base coverage, you can do Italian Ruscus and Magnolia. It provides full coverage and hides the arch mechanics. So that would be foam wire, chicken wire, zip ties, cables, things of that nature. If you want texture or fill base, then again, seeded eucalyptus, ferns, and baby eucalyptus. These will fill in gaps, add a softer look, and introduce a light fragrance. Movement and drape, Italian Ruscus, Smilax, and ivy. That's this look here. And it's going to create a beautiful cascading line that gives the arch a very flowing and organic feel. For color contrast, again, the silver dollar, eucalyptus, and dusty miller, and that offers a beautiful silvery blue or a dusty gray contrast to the traditional dark greens. For practical considerations, hardiness and availability. Hardiness, since backdrops are often set up well in advance or sometimes outside, you need greenery that's going to hold up well without water. You also want to consider the availability of the season, so always check with your florist or your decor designer to see what their suppliers have readily available in season. Pro tip, if it's in season when you're using it, it's not going to cost as much. It'll still be expensive, but less expensive if it's not in season. Another good thing you can do if your structure base is very strong and your florals aren't going to move, you can use your ceremony archway and put it behind your head table, and so or your sweetheart table, and it has dual purpose. So here we're using a very dark green base, so Italian Ruscus, Smilax for the bulk. And again, it's combined with baby's breath and large white roses. This combination that we're using is very popular for achieving a lush, high-end look. It's a little difficult to see, but how we're placing the Italian Ruscus and the vine into the chicken wire is where there's a lot of leaves at the base. We're just removing those pieces and inserting them one by one into the holes of the chicken wire. For a more fuller look, you put more than one piece, so you can do 2 or 3 pieces per hole, and you will do as I do and step back every once and often and take a look at the florals, just because what you're seeing up close is not the same as the look that you're going to get from a distance. You can see where is short, where is longer, where is thinner, where is fuller, what needs more. Is it leaning too much to the left? Is it leaning too much to the right? When you're low down in front of it, it'll look perfect at that angle, but once you move, you can see that it changes slightly. So it's always best to take a step back and look at the work, or ask somebody on your team to take a look and see if it is nice, acceptable, or if it needs any additional work. Everyone, that's Mary. Hi, Mary. It is relatively easy to place Italian Ruscus. All you're doing is taking 2 to 3 stems at a time and placing it into the chicken wire. For the best look, you're going to place them sporadically, starting at your base and moving up. If you do start at the top and go down, it will fall in the way, and it's just a little annoying to move around. But if you start at the bottom and work your way up, it'll have a nice flow to it. And then once you have your base secured, take a step back and look at it. See what side is full, what side might be a little bit thinner, where needs more. If there are pieces that are too long, you can clip them so it has a more uniform look to it if that's what you're looking for. If you want something that is more whimsical, then you'll leave it as is and let it just flow and fall naturally. It will look much more organic as it would if it was out in the wild. So how do you pick once your greenery is fully placed? You can go ahead and prioritize the volume. Your arch backdrop requires a lot of material. We wanted you're going to choose fillers like Airy look baby's breath to the Lush to fill large empty spaces. And for that, we included baby's breath and the tiny white blooms durability. Very delicate so backdrops are often set up hours before, like this one is, and it's also they are again budget friendly. What you use for the ceremony best for a very timeless and romantic to the reception. So you want to make sure you have a nice. So that's exactly what we're doing, and we're placing onto little bunches of baby breath, spray roses, delicate little clouds with the durability randomly throughout the arrangement. Just to give it a pop of white, zip ties holding them in place. A delicate look. You also want just to layer wisely, very wisely. So we started around our greenery as the base. Then we added our focal flowers. We also added some white roses, so the baby's breath, and the spray roses. If you wanted to add different colors, you could. Large roses. Our client just wanted a very classic look, and so we just added white roses. Look very well put together. But if you wanted something more colorful, together you could do Queen Anne's lace, which is a flat, intricate, an hour umbrella-like cluster of just flowers to put this together. It looks more wild. Obviously, like more wild version of baby's breath, floral foam, or platter, a little bit broader as well, and brought it in. How do you choose? Would have taken your filler flower to just slap it together. Think about, but your sometimes you just have to do things. What are your colors? What are your themes? And this is one of them where we did have to do it on site. What textures are you looking for? And it worked out lovely. Do you want it to use hydrangeas? On the topic of whimsical florals on do you site? Want something that there are a few reasons why a florist might decide to do this. Like spray roses, which were the miniature rose clusters. The just on a single stem, which we did actually use be done and transported because then it structure itself different was texture, not ours. Different element. It belonged to second floor, the backdrop, which is the venue. For so we wouldn't have had see some of them we were leaving availability, some of them we were pick it up, bring it in, just to give it a variation of height and then transported into the size of it itself. Once you finish into a vehicle, look at it and assembled. See, I don't have a truck. That is our friend the cleaner is coming by. That would be able to hold this and knocked over my camera, so we did lose a little bit of footage. We need something that is it happens sometimes and tall just to get it in. And when I mean strong to hold it down. So some type of mechanism to hold it in place during transportation. It also prevents florals from being ruined when you set it up on site as well. And it prevents wilting, and we're better able to hide the mechanisms like the zip ties, the chicken wire, and the structure itself, having them properly concealed so that the guests don't see them. It's a much better fit and much better customization to the space that we're in if we're able to do it that way. So we're able to optimize the flow of the flowers, and it flows with the surroundings of the space, the drape of the fabric behind it, angles for photos, slightness of the guest. Like it's a much better customization when you are assembling florals on site versus doing it in the studio and then bringing it in. So like using foam, right? Assembling it on foam and then bringing it in and just slapping it on place. It also provides for best freshness and longevity. All of the flowers are in water right until they go up onto the stand. They've been cut the day before, So they have the best freshness. They're not going to be wilted. There's hydration control. Before we leave, sometimes we even just spritz them with a little water just to keep those leaves open and nice. So in short, it's safe, it won't fall apart during transit, it's perfectly framed to complement the specific location, and it's vibrant. They're at their freshest point for the ceremony. So they're as fresh as they'll be for the ceremony and the reception look. Let's pretend this venue didn't come with this beautiful archway and you had to choose the perfect ceremony archway. So these are one of the small details that can really make your wedding unforgettable. Think about your style, going for what you want, something romantic, vintage, modern, or even sleek. The arch sets the tone for your whole event, so it's worth imagining how it will complement your venue and your theme. You're going to also want to consider the materials. So if you want a rustic, warm look, you're going to go with wood or a gold or copper wiring. It's great for outdoor weddings. You might want a metal arch. A metal arch also can give contemporary, while a floral design adds some softness to the natural beauty of it. You can also personalize it with drapes, lights, hanging decorations, anything really to match your color scheme. Size also matters. You don't want anything that's going to be too small, and you don't want anything that's going to be too big or too cluttered. That will be overwhelming to your space. So you want a frame that's perfect without overshadowing yourself or even your guests. You don't want it hiding in the background either. So make sure that you're measuring your venue carefully and think about how the arch will look from every single angle. Don't forget about the practicality. Will it be easy to move and set up if you're doing a backyard wedding, if you're doing it at a venue? Is it lightweight? Are the materials quick to adjust? Are they easy to adjust? If you're adding a lot of flowers or lights, ensure that the structure can handle the weight without sagging, collapsing, or even bending. Ultimately, picking the right archway is all about reflecting your style and creating a beautiful backdrop for your vows. So keep it personal, choose what feels right to you, and know that it's going to be a stunning focal point for everyone to remember, and it will be in all of your pictures. We are now just adding some final touches. We already have our sprayed roses in there, our large roses in there, our focal points, and our baby's breath. And so we're still just going to walk around and make sure that they're placed nicely, spread out all around. Oh, the cleaning gentleman knocked down the camera, but he set it back up. As you can see, we have a few more florals out than we did before because we did lose a bit of footage while he was cleaning. Nevertheless, we are still here and we are still setting up beautiful arrangements for you. So again, we're going to just trim off any excess. We're going to make sure that the stem is clean. That way we can easily guide and maneuver the stems into the chicken wire. Remember, we want to make sure that this is strong and sturdy. It is going to be moved during the reception or during the cocktail hour, for the reception space. And so we need to make sure that it is strong, sturdy, and that there will be little to no florals falling to the ground during the move. Less of a cleanup, less to reinstall, and just perfect and smooth transition from our ceremony space to our reception space. Again, don't forget, while placing florals, always take a step back after you put down a few and step away from it. Make sure you're a few feet back, maybe sit in one of the seats of one of the guests and do it from a few different angles. You might find holes and gaps that need to be filled. You might see bits of chicken wire or bits of foam that are exposed, and you want to ensure that all of those areas are covered so that when the photographer is taking photos, There is no empty spaces. Use your bigger flowers and your clouds of baby breaths to cover those spaces. Very, very important. I hope that you found this video to be very informative for you. We went over a few things: choosing the right greenery for your look, choosing the right fillers to accomplish the look that you're going for, your entire vibe, your feel, as well as choosing the right archway for you if one isn't being provided in your all-inclusive venue price. I hope you enjoyed watching this installation. I hope it gave you some tips, some tricks, and helped you along the way. If you do have any other questions about setting up this particular arrangement, go ahead and ask them in the comment section below. If you found this video to be helpful for you, give us a like, a nice thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and share it. If you feel so inclined, I do appreciate it. If you have something that you'd like to see in another video, you can go ahead and let us know as well. We have a few options for you. If you want to do it anonymously, there is a link in the description box where you can select that. I'll also have the types of looks you can go for in the description if you missed it. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye for now.